Hello, my friends. This is Spartan Ireland. Today, I want to do a shoe review for you. Something that I just got and just had my first workout with it. Before we get started, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Replace SR because I love this product. It works great for an endurance athlete such as myself because it's an extended release electrolyte tab. So I take the tablets before a big workout or before a race. They're going to keep working, keep replenishing electrolytes, helping my muscles do what they're supposed to do, helping to stave off things like the risk of cramping, and it'll work. Keep going for 4 to 6 hours, which is generally long or longer than any of my events. Ultras being the exception. So I love it. I'm going to give them a shout out and going to move on to doing the shoe review. I guess I should tell you kind of what type of athlete you're getting a review from. As I mentioned, I do Spartan races. That's obstacle course racing, so it's outside. It's not on asphalt. We do trails, uphill, downhill, mountains, obstructions in the path, sharp turns, steep inclines and declines that require traction, and then all that mixed with a whole lot of obstacles that fit into one or two categories. Mostly it's going to be grip in forearm type obstacles or heavy carries, and then right after all that strenuous effort, right back to running and racing. So that's what I train for. That's what I do. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love Spartan racing. This year, 2020, I'll be going into my 9th racing season, and looking forward to the next race coming up in a couple of weeks, the first of the U.S. National Championship Series. So that's what I'm into. And then I guess maybe I'm supposed to give a disclaimer just in case. As starting last year, I did enter kind of a relationship with Hoka where I'm on their ambassador team, and so I have gotten some free shoes. This I didn't get for free because I used up all my free shoes already for this last season, but I did get a discount on it. That was awesome because I'm just a Hoka man, 100%. I don't go to any other brand, and I believe they got a shoe for pretty much everything, with one exception. I'll mention that at the end of this review. So the shoe I'm reviewing, this is the Carbon X. It's 8.8 ounces is the weight rating for a men's size 9. So for this much cushion, that's a pretty lightweight shoe. The stack height is 35 millimeters in the heel and 30 millimeters in the forefoot. So we got a 5 millimeter drop. What else? Some of the design. So they use two kinds of foam in this. So the top layer of foam is going to be more for the comfort for your feet, and the bottom layer something more propulsive. And then it's got a carbon fiber plate there inside the shoe in between the two layers of foam that's there to help with responsiveness and help you with a better launch as you roll through the gait cycle. The upper is really lightweight. In fact, this material, now this is a road shoe design. I'm using this for my speed work in the gym, but this material really lightweight. I mean, it really does feel like nothing on the top of your foot. If I was running through trails and bushes and sticks and stuff like that, I would be a little concerned about hitting the first stick that I didn't intend to hit and tearing the material. But for what I wanted it for, speed training, that's no concern at all. It's just less weight on the shoe, less that you're lifting up off of the ground. And the shoe's advertisement boasted a great lockdown, and I would say I absolutely agree. As soon as I put them on, just laced them up at home after the box arrived, it's got a really good feel, really good fit on the top that just you can tell it's got your foot locked in place, so you're not going to have movement inside the shoe. So I think that aspect of it is really good. my first impressions, well, that was part of it. Just when I got them out of the box at home, and I was amazed, really impressed with the lockdown. As I got my workout started today, well, first I was going to hit a little warm up. I start off with the jog. It's going to be 1 mile. About halfway through the mile, I bump it up to 9 miles an hour to get my body ready for moving a little bit better tempo. In the warm up, I felt like the toe box had a little less room than I was used to with the other shoes that I'm usually running in. And I just found myself thinking about how much room I had for my toes. Starting off, once I got going into my workout, I found myself completely forgetting about that. It wasn't so much that I was feeling like squished toes in the shoe, I guess in comparison to the other Hokas that I do most of my racing or training in, it was something that I noticed initially. Another thing that I did, and I don't know that I needed it at all, but since this was a new shoe for my foot and I was going to do a distance training, is just that I put some KT tape on the back of the heels just for protection in case it rubbed my foot in some manner that I was unaccustomed to. I didn't want to get a rub spot, but so I probably didn't need it, but want to err on the side of caution. I've got an event coming up in 2 weeks. I don't need to mess with any of my training negatively by doing something like rubbing my foot the wrong way, rubbing some skin off or something. So I did that just as a precaution. Again, I probably didn't need it. Probably won't need that on the next workout. The kind of workout that I did for this shoe today, like I said, I bought it for speed work and for sprint training that I'm doing, but I read some really good things about the propulsion, the responsiveness that a shoe gains from using the carbon fiber plate technology. So today I had my Spartanrace simulation style workout planned, and I thought, well, why not just give it a try in this lighter weight shoe. Again, I'm doing this simulation in the gym, so I'm not so concerned about the traction issue that I would think about while running up and down hills and loose dirt and gravel, etc. So that race simulation workout. Again, I designed it to be like my events, so I'm going to hit the stairs, I'm going to run fast, I'm going to do something in the gym like a pull-up bar hang to simulate that grip work. I'm going to go back to running. Then I'm going to do something like heavy carry, carrying weights, whether it's in front of me, carrying on my shoulders, things to simulate the obstacles, right back to running on the treadmill. So the whole thing is race the clock, right? I'm treating it like an event, so there's no rest periods, and that's the description of the workout. As I got going in my last race simulation workout, and I'm doing a total volume of 8 miles broken up into 12 segments so that I can get lots of obstacle simulation in between the running like my races. Last week I was at 10.5 miles an hour for the entire workout. And near the end I felt like I was just kind of clinging on, kind of praying I was going to make it through to the end of my planned volume and maintain that tempo. And so my intent coming into this week was to not bump up the speed, just do the 10.5 miles an hour and hope that would result in me adapting, my body getting a little more used to, a little more, quote, comfortable with running that tempo for a race simulation workout. So I got going, and in the first couple of half-mile run segments with some obstacle simulation in between, I started feeling kind of like that tempo was a little too easy. And I felt like I needed to sort of check myself, like, okay, don't get excited, bro. You're like in the first mile of your workout before you start calling it easy. Let's see how this goes. So I stayed at 10.5 miles an hour through the first 2 miles out of a planned 8-mile workout. Coming off of that in the next obstacle simulation, I thought, man, I can definitely, up the tempo a little bit. So let me see how this goes at 10.6. And in the next couple of miles, Felt great. 3 more rounds of doing obstacle simulation. Felt like I wasn't pushing as hard as I would be able to. So bumped it up again, 10.7 for the next couple of miles worth of running. Still felt I just felt great, and this is one workout, one sample. Little things can play into any given day, like the amount of rest you had, your nutrition, hydration, things like that. But it was feeling perfect. Like I just had that 10.7 speed under control. In fact, before it even started the 10.7, I thought, well, if I feel just fine in these couple of miles, I'll bump it up at the end to a 10.8 between the whole workout. That would end up at like a 10.65 average miles per hour speed. So, man, it just felt awesome. I definitely sensed the lightness of the shoe. And and I was comfortable. I wasn't feeling like I was suffering negatively from the amount of impact. And the reason that would cross my mind is because this is a road shoe, where it doesn't have rubber on the outsole. It's you just got I think they do a rubberized effect to some of the foam, but my experience has been where foam is where you get your comfort in your cushion. I found that where the rubber meets the road, the outsole is really what kind of dictates shock absorption, which is why I love to do all my run training. Even when I'm not on a race course, I like to do that in trail shoes, because I found that full rubber contact with the ground is the biggest factor in shock absorption. But I kept upping the tempo and didn't feel like I was suffering at all from that, even though I don't have a trail shoe today. Yeah, I was going to finish that thing out with 10.8 miles an hour, but it was just going so well. My final run of the workout, right after I bang out 30 burpees, was going to be 10.8. I just went for it at 11.0. So a 5:28 mile tempo at the end of my race simulation workout. And it was harder, that's for sure, but I nailed it. Nothing's hurting. I felt great, and I am sold. I love this shoe, absolutely. I guess the one thing that leads me to is, I said I think Hoka's got a shoe for everything. Now I feel that there's an exception. I want to see basically this model, carbon fiber plate technology, in a trail shoe. So Hoka, please do that. Make a trail racer, something with some grip and some traction for those of us that are doing the outdoor trail run or obstacle course racing thing. But otherwise, follow this design. I mean, maybe for trail racing we need something a little more substantial, we're not at risk of tearing it up, damaging the upper with some of the the materials and stuff we're running into out there on trail off-road courses. But there it is, man, the Carbon X. I love it, and I'm actually just looking forward to and eager to get into my next speed training workout and race simulation workout in this shoe. Happy with it, and I hope I gave some information that's beneficial to you. Thanks for watching. This is Spartan Ireland, and I'll see you at the finish line soon.